Māori content creators / influencers that tautoko kaupapa Māori. They're proud of themselves, their culture and the causes they represent, etc., which is great. Engari, the image they present is heavily thick with fashion and Americanized fashion at that. Females with giant Venus flytraps for eyelashes, foot-long nails, filters on their faces, males who talk kaupapa Māori, but they're mixing it with sort of like, I don't know, muscle flexing or fashion presentation. Is it an awkward mix for you as it kind of is for me? I'm not hating, I find a bit of a weird contradiction maybe. I don't know, drop a comment, what do you reckon? Māori content. Timu and companies like that can jump in the lake, go to hell. I cannot believe the desperate, exploitative, cunning marketing that they employ. I accidentally, naively had a look at their app, downloaded it, had a look a few weeks ago, whatever, realized, no, I don't need any of this, whatever, deleted it. Right, now I get a stream of emails telling me, oh, your loyalty has been rewarded, you've got a gift, come and collect your gift, and then, it was $500, now it's bloody $2 or whatever. I'm just, how desperate and aggressive is that? Like, exploiting vulnerable people that have no ability to critically think or resist temptation, have no shit show in resisting that. It's extreme. And I think it should be legislated against. I can't believe it. I'm really shocked. Probably I'm out of touch with modern marketing, or maybe everyone thinks that's completely normal, but I don't, man. What do you reckon? Drop a comment. Team, next time you attach a song or add a song to a reel, a story on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever, take the time to be a bit more deliberate about it. All right, you'll have local music, old and new. All right, lesser heard stuff that has an opportunity there to be heard, maybe, if only incidentally through a post. All right, I like to see attaching music and with images as a creative act. All right, and you can be deliberate with it and shine light on stuff that just is not getting the exposure. Not out of pity, not out of charity, but because it's great stuff. All right, does Snoop Dogg and Taylor Swift and The Weeknd really need another attached song? They get it heaps. All right, put it on some new stuff. Sure. In response to the story of this American guy separating, divorcing, whatever, from his Filipino wife, there's a huge backlash against him. He's been painted by lots of TikTok videos, at least, as this bully, dominant, sexist, degrading type guy. He might be. I'm not defending the guy. I don't know him. But one thing I want to say from my own experience and first-hand experience, my wife is Indonesian, I'm a New Zealander, I've spent a lot of time in Southeast Asia, and status is a big thing, wealth, education, and if you're white, you're elevated even higher. Now that, and with the poverty, especially in places like the Philippines, that creates a vibe over there, or a scenario I should call it, whereby women predominantly are more than happy to link up with these Western guys, and and their guard and their bullshit detector and their standards even, I'll say, can be quite low as a result. So my point is that while this guy's getting painted as the bad guy and the woman as the innocent victim, again, I don't know their details, but it's important to understand context, to understand that white people are on a high status level there. They don't have to be rich in their own country, but they go to Southeast Asia where the economies are poor and they are suddenly knights in shining armor, let's call it. Also, there's a deeper issue whereby in Indonesia, at least I can speak for some people, many people, lower educated people predominantly, will see the children that come from these mixed marriages as elevated as well, because they're half white or half American or Australian or Kiwi or whatever, all right, because there's this deep inferiority complex. So I just wanted to come on here and say my bit to suggest that this problem is a lot more complicated and nuanced than people are assuming. It's not black and white, goodies and baddies. And look into it more. It's systemic, it's racial, it's cultural, it's socioeconomic, it's all of that. Okay, yeah, it is what it is. That's my 5 cents. I'm curious, how often do you big up, compliment, give praise to people who give good service, professional, friendly, efficient? I reckon it's an awesome thing to go up to a manager. I've done this a couple of times in the last week and gone to a manager and say, hey, that staff member really gave me some great service. They're helpful, they're friendly, they're a credit to your business. It's an awesome feeling to do that. Not to get anything from it, that you're not looking for a freebie or anything, just to big up good service. It's getting, no, I won't say it's getting few and far between. It's not that bad, but it's awesome when someone goes out of their way. How often do you give a good Google review, or even more, go to the manager or to that staff member and big them up? Drop a comment. Hey, are you one of these people that has a full-on conversation in a public space on your phone with your earbuds maybe, and you're loud as, you go hard, you don't care who is forced to listen to you, and you don't care who hears your conversation? I find that pretty out of it, to be honest, like on a couple of levels. One, you're forcing everybody to listen to this conversation, and two, don't you care about the privacy of your actual conversation? Like, I find that pretty kind of like obtrusive and strange that you don't mind everybody listening in, because they are, or you're forcing them to. It's not their fault. So yeah, I'm not into it. Maybe I'm getting old. Maybe you're gonna say, oh, you're just old and this is a young people's thing, but I'm seeing it more and more. And I don't know, drop a comment. Do you think that's all good or not? True. Hey, me he mea e hihi ana koe ki te whakapiki tō reo, arotahi ngia ki tō āheitanga ki tō reo tuatahi. This is my point here. Your ability, or our ability in our first language, determines the glass ceiling or the standard of our new language that we're learning, regardless of the actual language. And that if we can develop our awareness, vocabulary, grammatical knowledge of our first language, our new languages or language benefits from that. The flip side of that, of course, is that if we don't have good command of our first language, that glass ceiling will be lower for our next language. I firmly believe that we cannot make our second or third or other language better than our first. So improve your first language. That's my point. What do you reckon? Drop a comment. Sure. Alright, this is a follow-up video to one I did a while ago asking about the New Zealand pension and how it's not means tested, how I didn't think that made sense. The vast majority of Kiwis clearly think that the pension is an entitlement, a right, and it's earned, and that they put into they pay taxes all their working lives, and that this is their reward. Now, I have two major questions about that, if that's the case. Alright, one, if I work from the age of 20 to 64 and a half, or the day before my 65th birthday, I drop dead. All right, does all that money that I paid in go to someone, to my family, to my spouse, to my kids? What? All right, because if you're right and it gets put aside, where does it go? The second one is this: do you truly believe that that system, or this system, is sustainable into the future, with the economy the way it is, young people struggling, younger people not affording to buy houses, all right, that they can continue to collect a pension when they're 65, all right, because the vast majority of Kiwis truly think that this is their God-given right. I'm not so sure. What do you think? All right. I don't reckon it's unreasonable for people to have an expectation of those of us who wear moko kauai, puhoro, moko kanuhi. It's not unreasonable for people to assume maybe even that we have a certain level of cultural knowledge and te reo Māori. Now, does that mean that they can be judgmental about it and put pressure on us? Of course not. I agree with the concept of birthright whakapapa. But when we're visibly identifiable with our culture, I don't think it's unreasonable for people to just assume certain things, right or wrong. There's this movement at the moment to sort of like get almost triggered and angry that people would expect someone with moko to speak Māori. Now, I don't think that that's unreasonable that they might make that assumption. Okay? I'm not condoning judgment or harsh comments or mockery, etc. No. But hey, we become cultural ambassadors by default, through moko, through the wearing of moko, and that's going to come. There's going to be some public perceptions about that. I don't think we should get mad about it and get sort of defensive. I don't know what you think about it, but that's me. Sure.